Hello friends, welcome or welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a little bit short and sweet. I don't have any vlogs ready to go up this weekend, so I sort of needed a filler video, and I realized that I hadn't filmed a fall TBR list video, so that's what we're doing today. I know it's honestly kind of late in September at this point to be doing this, but I wanted to make this video, and so it's happening right now. There are a million books that I want to read this fall. Fall reading is my absolute favorite. I'm sorry if you can hear the plane in the background. I live next to the airport. Kind of. Honestly, there are so many books that I want to read this fall that if I included all of them in here, this video would be like an hour long. So I've chosen 5 that are like top priority, and then 2 that I'm really hoping to reread, one of which I'm sure I can make happen. The other one is a little bit more iffy. If you have any fall recommendations for me, I'm always in the mood for fall books, so leave them in the comments below and we can get started. I'm gonna go ahead and start with the 2 rereads that I want to do. The first one is Fangs, which is a graphic novel. I have the pretty edition with the sprayed edges. I'm honestly not sure if it comes in an edition that doesn't have sprayed edges. This is just a cute little graphic novel about a vampire who has a werewolf boyfriend and all of the cute little things that they do. It's really charming and sweet. The art in here is beautiful and it's a little bit comical as well. So there's full page illustrations like so. I just think that this book is the cutest thing ever. So I'm absolutely sure I can make this happen because this is probably a 20-minute read in reality. I highly recommend it if you like vampire books. This is so cute and fulfilling and like the perfect fall read if you have like half an hour to kill. Definitely pick this up. There's also so many other good graphic novels to recommend you. I'm actually going to grab them. I'm not really planning to reread any of these this fall, but I feel like I just have a lot of good options on my shelves. So let me pull some down really quick while we're on the topic of graphic novels. Okay, I couldn't find all of the ones that I wanted to find, but I did find The Sans Tea Party, which is so cute. It's essentially about this girl who makes friends with a ghost, and they have tea parties and they hang out together, and it's just again a really cute, fulfilling, warm fall vibes story. So this is another great choice. A large portion of this book is actually set on Halloween. It's super cute. So if you want something again like warm and fuzzy and cozy, this is another great choice. This one is a little bit longer, so maybe if you're looking for something to read in like 2 sittings, I would recommend this one. And then we also have Mooncakes, which is again a witchy story, cozy fall vibes, very cute. The Tea Dragon Society is obviously adorable as well. I think that one kind of leans more towards a summer read, but I think it would be super cute for fall as well. And then I haven't actually read Pumpkinheads, but I know that that's another super popular fall graphic novel to feel those warm, cozy fall vibes. So those are my graphic novel recommendations for you. And then the other reread that I'm really hoping to get to is The Year of the Witching. This is my favorite fall book ever. I don't know if I'm gonna have time to do a reread. I might honestly pick up the audiobook or like tandem read a little bit because this book is definitely long and heavy. And it's not for everyone, but it's about this girl who is already kind of an outcast in this really puritanical society that she lives in. The forest is said to contain witches and spirits and dark magic, and they're forbidden from this puritanical, very religious town. Our main character kind of accidentally enters the woods one day, and she starts to learn the history and a lot of morally gray stuff going on, an examination of religion and how maybe religion isn't always a good thing, obviously. And overall, just the spookiest, one of the most atmospheric, spooky books that I've ever read. If you're looking for atmospheric horror, I would also recommend, is it When the Reckoning Comes? I think that's right. Okay, yeah, I would also recommend When the Reckoning Comes. I think this is perhaps the most atmospheric horror book that I've ever read in my life. The vibes are so haunting. Well, it's not super overt horror. It's more of a quiet horror where there's a lot of suspense built up in the atmosphere. It's really great. Set on a plantation, I believe. Yep, and the plantation's rumored to be haunted, and there's also some like gathering or maybe a wedding happening on this plantation. So our main character is sort of grappling with all of that, and it really goes into history. Again, very gothic, very atmospheric. I think that it has a good, important societal message as well. So, and it's very short. So I would definitely recommend this if you're looking for an atmospheric horror and you haven't read this yet. If you have read this and you haven't read this yet, pick this one up. These are not too similar, but they both criticize historical periods. So I think both of them are good choices. I didn't know that this was going to turn into a recommendations video, but I guess it is. These next 5 I probably won't have recommendations to compare to because I haven't read them yet, obviously. Although, actually, now that I'm looking at it, there might be. The first one's Slade House, and this is, again, a very short, I think it's kind of a gothic fantasy, but I'm not really sure what to expect. The pitch of the book is that every 9 years, a door opens down the street from this little bar, and someone is invited inside to Slade House. It only happens, again, like once every 9 years, and we don't really know what goes on inside Slade House. It seems super idyllic, but the longer the people stay there, maybe the less perfect it seems, and then they can't get out. So that's all I really know about this one. I don't really want to know a lot more going in because, again, it's really short. I think it's like 240 pages or something. Yeah. I feel like this is the perfect kind of cozy yet dark fall book that you maybe want to read just in one afternoon when you have the time to kill, like cozy up in bed, drink some tea, and knock this baby out. It's not part of a series. I love a standalone fantasy. I just hate reading series. I think there's like 3 series that I read in my entire life. Don't look at the political ad that's happening behind me. That's not fun. That is not the fall ambiance that I put on to be in the background of this video. Then I have a Phantom Lover and Other Tales by Vernon Lee, which I believe is actually a pen name used by a woman who was writing in the late 1800s. These are all dark gothic horror stories. The pitch on the back of this book says, "These are tales of lonely souls possessed by recurring tragedies of the past, holy sanctuaries disrupted by unruly pagan forces, and aspiring youths enthralled and consumed by the undying art of their ancestors." So that sounds wonderful, and I can definitely space this out throughout the fall. Most of the stories in here I think are just like 20 or 30 pages. So again, if I have an afternoon, I can knock out a story and have a good fun time. I've never, I don't think, read anything by this author before, and until I found this at my bookstore, I'd actually never heard of this author before. I'll keep you updated in whatever video I decide to read this in, because I don't know what her real name was, but I would love to keep you posted and give you some more history on that. And the cover of this is just beautiful. So anyway, that one's kind of top priority to sprinkle into the reading throughout the next couple months. I would also love to read Vespertine by Margaret Rogerson this fall. I've read both of her other books earlier this year. And Enchantment of Ravens was really good, just like a traditional fae story. Let's talk about that for just a second, because since we're recommending things in this video, I'd love to recommend that for you to read this fall. I didn't love A Sorcery of Thorns as much, but I still see like where the hype comes from. But as far as an Enchantment of Ravens goes, we're following our main girly. I think her name is Elizabeth, but that could be a lie. I'm not sure. It doesn't really matter. And she is a human girl living in a world of fae, and her like special talent, her special gift, whatever, is painting. She paints portraits. And so one day she paints a portrait for the like king of the autumn court, and he ends up needing her to fix it. So he comes to get her to take her to the autumn court to fix this portrait that she has shipped there to him. And along the way, things start to go wrong. There's maybe some disquiet in the fae world, and maybe she's gonna have to help him fix it, and they start to fall in love. Very traditional fae story. I loved it. The scenes were really visceral. The autumn vibes in the autumn court obviously were wonderful. The audiobook for it was absolutely fantastic. Highly recommend. So Vespertine, similar dark fantasy situation. Our main girly is a nun in this fantastical world that cleanses the souls of dead bodies so they don't like turn into zombies or possessed skeletons. I don't really know. But one day her like covenant is attacked by a bunch of possessed skeletons, and so she kind of has to figure out the root of where this magic is coming from and save the world, like a classic YA fantasy. This is actually an arc that I haven't read. It's 3 years old. I feel awful. This is the only arc on my shelf that I haven't read. And to be fair, I had got sent this arc right before I moved in to the house that I'm in now. And so when I packed up all of my books to move here, I lost this for a long time. I found it several months later, and I just haven't picked it up. I feel bad. I'm a terrible person. I know. I really want to read it this fall though. I love a dark fantasy. Then I have a Starling House, which is very polarizing for a lot of people. I don't think I fully understand what's going on in this book. There seems like there's a lot going on in the synopsis that I'm just not 100% sure about. So if I pitch it wrong, like, I'm sorry. I'm trying my best, but I haven't read it yet. So our main character in this is Opal, And Opal is kind of obsessed with this house and this author that used to live in this house that went missing like 100 years ago or something. And nobody really knows what happened to her. Her descendant, several generations down the line, I'm assuming Arthur, ends up needing Opal's help for some reason. I don't know if she's like cleaning or assisting him, or like, I'm not really sure what she's doing, but basically she gets a chance to go inside this house. And I think it's kind of a haunted house vibe, but also maybe some fantasy thrown in, mysterious author solving the mystery. I don't really know, but that's the general vibe. It sounds really good. It's not very long. I believe that there might be a little bit of mixed media in here as well, although again, don't quote me, I'm not sure that that's true. It just sounds like the perfect fall atmosphere that I'm trying to create in my life right now. I have plans to pick this up later this week, hopefully. So this one will probably be the first in this stack that I read, although the next book is also kind of a contender for that spot. Again, I have a couple videos going on that just weren't ready to be posted this weekend. And this one is going to be in one of those, and this one is going to be in the other one of those. So okay, this is the last book that I want to talk about today, The Inheritance of Orchidia Divina. This again has a synopsis that kind of doesn't make 100% sense to me. It seems like there's a lot going on. Basically, this woman invites the family to her funeral to collect their inheritances. Some mysterious things happen, like she potentially turns into a tree at her funeral. I don't really know. Again, I haven't read it. I don't fully understand. And the family is very confused, but also, you know, had an inkling that she was magical. Like there's already a lot of magical things happening on her estate, and the family is very aware of that from my understanding. And then the children of the family are kind of blessed with some magical gifts, magical powers. I'm not really sure, again, what those are. It doesn't go into details. And they're gonna kind of solve the mystery of why she turned into a tree and save what's left of their family, uncover the truth behind their inheritance, which I'm assuming actually is the magical powers. And they're gonna travel to Ecuador to figure out what's going on. That was probably the worst plot synopsis that I could have ever given for a book, but that's honestly what it says on the inside flap. So I'm here for it if you're here for it. And that wraps up this video. Again, leave any fall book recommendations you might have in the comments for me. I'm absolutely interested, would love to hear those fall recommendations because fall reading is absolutely my favorite. Thanks so much for watching this video, and I'll see you next week with another one. Bye. That was a bad heart. Let's try again. Bye.